Hello and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. The club hope that this presentation will be informative and will help you to offer your views on a subject which is clearly close to the heart of all Hammers fans. The club have been looking at the many things that make West Ham United so special and how these values can be expressed in a more effective way. The club want to share this with as many of our loyal supporters as possible and hope you will see the level of detail, passion and love for West Ham United that has gone into the work so far, and that you will find it useful to help develop these ideas further. The club would like your feedback as to whether you feel they're broadly in the right area and moving in the right direction. With your help, we hope to create something really special that makes a statement about West Ham United. The board wish to be absolutely clear this is only a consideration of evolving the crest. This is not a potential name change. We will always be West Ham United. The work all started with our founding fathers and the cast iron heritage that forged this club. West Ham is an authentic London club that is synonymous with the capital the world over. But should the club now aim to be the London club? The club is also famed for its standing as the Academy of Football, for all the great players they've produced, and they want to continue this tradition. The club have produced countless England internationals, and their goal going forward is to see them fulfil their potential while playing in claret and blue. As the club move to their new home and embark on a new journey, they want to continue their long tradition of being a club built on born and bred loyalty. We want the stadium to become the Academy of Fans. Ironic humour. West Ham fans are renowned the world over for their terrace wit. Our ethos is built around keeping our players grounded and aware of the role they play for the club and in the community. Our values go beyond what happens on the pitch. Our never give up attitude, first articulated by Arnold Hills, later to be embodied by the likes of Brooking and Bonds. This is West Ham through and through, and we'll always have this at our core. This can be seen by our fans who stay till the final whistle, and our staff who work tirelessly in the name of West Ham United. Of course, we won the World Cup. We were at the heart of one of the country's finest hours in the glorious summer of 1966, and the club want to reflect and remember this as we move to our iconic new home at the heart of London. The club want to bring football like it used to be back to the people. They want everyone to be involved and feel a part of West Ham's future at our new 54,000-seater home. We'll continue to play our role in bringing the local community together and helping it go from strength to strength. And ultimately, the club aspire to put West Ham on a global stage. So, with these values in mind, the club started to consider how best to reflect and represent these values in everything they do to showcase themselves in the new era. And this led to the question of the club's crest. A recap of our crest history. To start this journey, the club took a look at how our crest had evolved over the years.
The first badge of the Thames Ironworks came about from the fact that Arnold Hills was a very patriotic Englishman, and he believed in the Union Jack, red, white and blue. The crossed hammers, of course, came about from the fact of the riveting hammers used in the ironworks, in the shipyards, in the foundries. It was always West Ham United, the hammers, crossed hammers, through the decades of the 20s, 30s, 40s and 50s. It was a different type of hammer on every different type of shirt that came through different eras. The crossed hammers have been a predominant badge of West Ham United throughout the 50s, the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. And it was only in the 50s on certain occasions, such as when the players were on tour, that they wore blazers and the castle effect was incorporated into the club badge. Well, the castle had appeared in club badges for players when they went abroad in blazers, etc. But the real first castle to appear was in 1964 for the FA Cup final against Preston North End. That special shirt had Wembley 1964. The club's current crest has been in operation since 1999, and previously there had been 15 different iterations Every other Premier League club since 1997 has changed its crest, some on multiple occasions.
The club considered a number of compelling reasons for considering an evolution of the club's crest. First, location. The Olympic Stadium is closer to West Ham United's pre-Bowling Ground roots at the Memorial Grounds in the borough of West Ham. Should the club keep the castle that is so tied to the Bowling Ground, or should they update the crest to reflect the new location? Would respectfully retiring the castle from the badge be a fitting tribute to the ground that has served West Ham so well, and they have called home for over 100 years? Second, we considered timing. Over the years, the crest has been updated roughly every decade. While we're discussing how best to ensure the stadium is West Ham United's home and the insignia and memorabilia that it must house, is it now the perfect time for a change with a move to a new home on the horizon? Is it now or never? With all this in place, the club sought expert help in deconstructing the badge. They wanted to work with world-class designers who knew and loved West Ham. Thankfully, one designer offered the perfect mix.
Hello, I'm Neil Felton. I am a creative director at a London design agency. I'm also a lifelong West Ham United fan. A season ticket holder for the last 30 years. This is a project that's very close to my heart and something that I feel very strongly about and want to get right for all the West Ham faithful. It's a long journey, discovering and rediscovering all the history of our past, analysing every aspect of the badge, dissecting the current badge. We look at each element individually, the shield, the crossed hammers, the representation of the Bowling Castle, the typography and of course the colours. We started by assessing the different shields used on the club's crest over the years. The 1920s, the 1940s, the 1980s, and then it was the 1950s that really kind of got us excited. These shields of the 50s and the 60s were used in our golden era for the likes worn on the chest of Bobby Moore, Trevor Brooking, Billy Bonds and all those great legends. While researching the Thames Ironworks history, the HMS Warrior ship inspired a slight variation on the badge. The shape of the shield was inspired by the hull of the ship, the first large ironclad warship of the British or any other navy, a full fleet unit capable of ocean voyages, armoured to withstand any naval weapon in existence. This was built entirely at the Thames Ironworks Shipbuilding Company at Blackwall in 1860. It was during this research where we came up with a concept of combining the whole of the shape of the Warrior with the 60s style badge. A potential solution to the shield would be to define a new shield inspired by the HMS Warrior. It both depicts the shape of the ship's bow and reflects the shape of the badge during our golden era of the club's past. Next we moved into typography and the wording in the badge. A focus on detail is crucial in this sort of project. We wanted to consider the variety of fonts and typefaces, both contemporary and traditional. Like our values, we wanted to be traditional, contemporary and future-proof all at once. So the font choice has to reflect this. Crucial to this process was also considering how the team name should be represented. As we have throughout this process, we've referred to history for our inspiration. Our intent in bringing some recognition of our location to the crest is all about signalling our ambition and aspiration for the future. To compete at the highest level and be recognised on a global stage, so we refer back to some of the most successful periods in the club's history.
The birth of West Ham United in 1900, of course, continued the London link, and it was enhanced in 1923 with the FA Cup final at the then brand new Wembley Stadium. During the years of the spells of European competition, the name of London was added to the pennants and rosettes as a further recognition of the club's status within the capital.
When it comes to the club colours, West Ham will always be claret and blue. Claret was the house colour of the Thames Ironworks. The most familiar claret and blue shirts have been worn ever since the club turned professional in 1900. Despite the various iterations over the years, the club believe the crest should be claret and blue and welcome your thoughts. The gold elements, which have been used in the crest since the 1980s, actually date back further to the 1950s when they were used on blazer badges. We felt that there was certainly still a place for gold in any new evolution of the club's crest. Then we came to the hammers themselves. It's the defining image of our club. It's our name, it's our symbol. The famous crossed hammers are so firmly rooted in our history, representing the foundation of this great club. We wanted to look at how we could make the hammers stronger and more prominent in the club's crest, but also remain true to their history at the same time. We found some early programmes showing the shape of genuine rivet hammers as used by the Thames ironworkers in the ironworks, and used this as inspiration for potentially mocking up some new, bolder hammers in our crest. Next up, we looked at the Bowling Castle. The castle first appeared on programmes and handbooks as illustrations around the 1920s, but didn't appear on the playing shirts until the late 50s. It's based on the 16th century tower of Green Street House, more commonly known as Anne Boleyn's Castle. However, contrary to some reports, there's no direct link to the Old Castle Swifts football club and the Bowling Castle.
You just have to look at the castle that is actually in our crest, and it's far removed from the original Bowling Castle or Bowling Tower that stood at the edge of Green Street, which was a totally different image to the one that we have incorporated now in our current crest.
Looking at older badges, the hammers have greater clarity in the ones used during the 1920s all the way through to the 1960s, before the castle was introduced. On the crest, including the castle, the hammers do merge somewhat and are less defined. I hope this gives you an insight into the elements of the badge and what each element represents. We welcome your thoughts on what should be represented in the badge.
With an increase in revenue, we can invest in our team, have more success on the field, attract better players, which in turn leads to more success, and so the cycle continues. This is a cycle we are keen to nurture as we set out on a vision to compete with the top 20 clubs in the world. There is no doubt that some incorporation or interpretation of London in our badge will help us be recognised on a global stage and attract world-class players. So, there are several things that the club want your views on. Is it the right time to respectfully retire the Bowling Castle in the crest as West Ham leave the ground behind? Are you comfortable with how it is proposed that the shield will be presented? How should the name West Ham United be presented? We want your thoughts on colour and the prominence of claret and blue. How do the club best represent their geographical position and standing in London? And crucially, how do you best think the crossed hammers should be shown? Hopefully this presentation has helped to show you the amount of thought, time, research and hard work the team at West Ham have put into considering an evolution of the club's crest. This isn't a subject that is being treated lightly, and the club have been clear from the start that no decision will be made unless it's supported by the fans. So they want to hear from you. There are two ways to provide your feedback on this important topic. Either you can complete the online form on this link, or you can come into the Bowling Ground on one of these dates to see a full presentation, speak to members of the team, and give your feedback in person. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. The club are looking forward to hearing your thoughts as they make plans for this defining era in our club's history. Thank you.